All right, let me go straight across to Long Island, where that community event is scheduled to take place this evening. Our senior colleague Vishnu Shom is joining us from outside the stadium. Also with me, my colleague Natasha Istrani joining us from inside the stadium. Vishnu, it's over to you. I see a lot of color and excitement around you. Go ahead.
All right, Vedant, you can see a lot of color around me right now. In a little while from now, the event is going to start behind me. Let me give you an idea of the numbers that are going to be in the stadium behind me. 13,200 attendees representing people from across the United States, NRIs and others, 500 plus welcome partners from 40 American states, 500 volunteers, 500 performers, these are all performers, 350 volunteers, 150 media professionals, 85 media outlets. So look, it is absolutely huge. You've got a small look at some of the color over here. What is your name?
Yeah, my name is Ashok Kumar. I am doing a folk dance here. This is called Potaraju, and we are brother of the goddess Durga.
And are you going to be performing inside also?
Yeah, mostly we are expecting. We already did on the stage right now.
Yes, I saw that.
We are hoping to do that one.
And ma'am, what's your name?
My name is Uma Putane, and I perform the role of Yalama Devi. It's an incarnation of Lord Durga Kali, and it's mostly a South Indian goddess, a very old folk story we have performed today here on the stage. We are so proud to be a part of this.
No, both of you were absolutely fantastic, ma'am. What are you looking forward to? What do you think was going to happen in this big event?
Of course, Modi ji is going to address all of us in terms of how the relationship between India and USA is going to be. I'm 100% sure that it is going to be better than before, and we are expecting a lot of people inside the Coliseum, very excited. We are from Telugu Literary and Cultural Association here in Long Island, New York.
Pooja, we've got a little visitor with us as well over here with a lovely India shirt. Beta, what's your name?
Ojas.
Ojas, how old are you?
7.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
What are you liking?
The dancers and everyone who are dancing.
All right, that's super. You have a great day now, yeah?
Yes.
Would anybody else like to say? Why are you here?
To see Modi.
To see Modi. So there you have it. This little boy knows why he's here. Ma'am, what is your name?
Sunita.
And where have you traveled from?
From New York. We are local. Yeah.
So thousands of people, pretty incredible, right? There are going to be 13,000 odd people who are going to be over here. So that's pretty incredible. The numbers are fairly staggering.
Yes, this is so exciting to do here in the large stadium, and with I hope Modi ji will see us and encourage us more. Yeah.
You've been waiting for this for a while?
Yes, we are waiting for this opportunity, and we are so glad that we got this opportunity today, and we are very, very proud to be here today and performing this.
It just strikes me that all of you are proud Indian but proud American at the same time.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about that, about your identity as American and Indian.
Yeah, so we are, yes, back home we miss back home, but we are also okay here. But we all the time supports back home, and we wanted to bring the culture of our heritage to the young people over here.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Hi, my name is Madhavi. I'm from New York. So does all of us here as a group, and we are so excited to see Modi ji. Like, we're doing a warm welcome. Definitely, we'll be more happy to see us over here, and definitely we are doing this to inherit all our cultural heritage to the future generation, so we don't forget our roots. They have to remember it forever.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, look, there you have it, a small look at so many people over here, the color over here, the sense of festivity, the sense of joy. The Prime Minister has got his task cut. It's very clear that there is a huge sense of expectation over here. Let's see what the Prime Minister has to say. Thank you all very much for being with us. Let's just take a look at crowds over here who continue to move in. A lot of people rushing in, and as you know, the thousands of people now, they've been told to rush in now. It's getting a bit late in the day. They're all sort of moving in now. We've had a lot of people come up to us and say, "Hey, look, can you organize some passes for us to get in?" I said, "I'm not an organizer of this event at all, and I have no passes." But it is fantastic to see this inside. But I'll tell you what, Vedant, why don't we go inside the studio now, where you've got our colleagues covering what's happening inside as well.
All right, Vishnu, thanks very much for bringing us all that color and excitement. Natasha, it's over to you. The Indian American community, the diaspora, is so vibrant in America, and the engineers, doctors, and of course now even a growing political force. But over to you. I see there are organizers of the event with you as well.
Absolutely, yes. A lot of color as Vishnu is covering outside. A huge representation of the community. We have a lot of different cultural organizations, so it's not only one particular community, but a cross-spread. And to give us more perspective on this, we are joined by Khanda Rao, and he's with the Foundation for India and India Diaspora Studies. He's also a member of the organizers behind this huge event. So give us the perspective here when we talk about the Indian American diaspora. What are we talking about? What numbers are we talking about? What range are we talking about?
So Indian diaspora is 4.5 million population. It is diverse spread in the metros from California to Chicago, Washington DC, New York, New Jersey. But most importantly, it is one of the significant population in the so-called swing states where the election results actually matter. That's why this election, Indian Americans may play an important role in deciding the future president.
So we have gone straight from culture and the excitement around Prime Minister Modi's upcoming speech here at Nassau Coliseum to the politics, which are also so hugely in play now, given the fact that we've had our first Black and South Asian woman who is running for president.
It's an important point you're making, Natasha, and I'll come back to you on the point of politics. But let me go back to Vishnu. There's a lot of color and excitement behind him. Vishnu, yes, go ahead, Vishnu.
You can take a photo with me as I broadcast live. Come. All right, so we've got photos happening over here. A lot of people really interested to see what's taking place over here. Young kids, parents, grandparents, the elderly, people from all across the country. But we've seen dancers over here in the back as well. Over the last couple of days, we've been talking about the economy, about strategy, about defense, about so many other things. But today it just seems we can forget all of that, because this is the big moment for the Prime Minister to reach out to a constituency that he knows so well. We've had these mega Modi events in the United States and elsewhere in the world in the past. But this is really big. 13,500 odd people are going to be assembling or have started assembling in this stadium to the left. People from across America, people of all religions. It is really a wonderful opportunity, a sense of the non-resident Indian community coming together. It's almost like a big Indian wedding which is taking place, or a big Indian celebration, perhaps like Diwali. That seems to be the mood over here. It's back to you.
Ready for the Garba.
Absolutely, Vishnu, and very interesting to see you've bumped into several fans of yours as well there in Long Island. But the point we were making earlier, it's such a diverse community, the Indian American community there. Yes, go ahead.
You're looking absolutely wonderful. What is your name?
My name is Christina.
And Christina, where are you from?
I live in Flemington, but I'm originally from Republic of Moldova.
You're from the Republic of Moldova. You're dressed wonderfully in an Indian dress, and you're going in for Prime Minister Modi's event?
Yes, because I love Indian culture. I have a lot of Indian friends, and I think India has a big future. I really believe in it. So Navratri is one of my favorite festivals, and I'm very happy to be here with my friends and my dance. And this is my Nisha Parikh is our dancing choreographer.
So let me get this straight. You're from Moldova.
Yes.
You're now an American citizen.
Yes.
You've come to an Indian event, dressing Indian clothes, and you're going to be seeing the Indian Prime Minister over there because you love Indian culture.
That's absolutely true.
How long have you loved Indian culture and Indian dance and dress? Come please, yeah.
For 4 years, we've done it all together.
And you're the teacher?
My name is Nisha Parikh from Nitya Rhythm Dance Academy. She's been with me for 5 years and she's been wonderful. She loves Indian culture.
Yes, of course. We are so excited and we want to present the Garba. Recently, the Garba heritage that we got, the UNESCO gave us the intangible heritage. we're going to perform that. We're going to do a fusion of really, really nice melody.
So Garba with rock and roll, Pooja. Garba with rock and roll. So, and Garba with hip hop as well. Okay, I must confess, I've never heard about Garba with hip hop. How does that work?
Wait for 3 minutes and you'll see it.
Okay, great. And so are you going to be performing here or inside as well? When are you going to be performing? Right after this. Well, sorry, you wanted to say something?
I said we're going to perform right after. Make sure you get us.
And we prepared.
How long?
We prepared this just for Modi ji. This is very special performance. So
We want to show how our Garba is such versatile. We want to show that how we are mixing the cultures.
So it's like a big festival. It's like Diwali over here today. All right.
2 minutes, our performance is coming.
All right. Okay. Wave to the camera to people across India. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, Vedant, it's like a wedding happening over here. That sense of joy and festivity and color. But you know that woman from Moldova who is now an American citizen, loves Indian culture, has made friends with the Indian community, dressed in a Garba outfit and is going to be performing over here, captures for you the diversity of the event which we are seeing.
It is such a vibrant community, the Indian diaspora in America. Vishnu, I'm afraid you're not able to hear me, but I'll give you a breather as you get us some of those, some more elements and a lot of color there outside the stadium. But let me go across to Natasha now. Natasha, yes, it's over to you. I believe you have some organizer of the community event with you. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely, I do. Sorry, I was bending forward because I couldn't hear you clearly. It's so noisy here because there's a lot of excitement building up to the cultural performances which are going to come before Prime Minister Modi speaks. I also want to say that while we have an idea of some of the entertainment, we also are expecting a surprise guest, but that's going to be later on in the show. And we are joined right now by Khanda Rao, who is the Foundation for India. You talked a little bit about the Indian diaspora and the influence. Do you know who the surprise guest is going to be?
I would like to keep it surprise.
So we are going to have some surprises coming up. But while we wait for the surprises and for the program to begin, we do really want to talk also about what we're going to see here specifically. And give us an idea of like what kind of performances specifically, and also what do they represent of the Indian community in the US?
So most of the performances are the reflection of a representation of the Indian art. And so that's what we promote and propagate and practice. You'll be surprised that Indian Americans practice all over USA, wherever various forms of the dances. All forms of Indian performing dances are actually performed and practiced. Schools, art schools are there from California to New York.
So we are going to see a lot of dancing art schools, and I sometimes feel like with the Indian American community here, they want to hold on to those ties in India. So often they need to be even more invested in preserving that culture, sometimes to the equivalents in India. But also now give us a perspective on the diaspora and tell us why is it that the diaspora is so excited about Prime Minister Modi's trips here. We have a limited capacity, of course, of the stadium, which is about 14,000. But I hear from organizers that there were applicants for 20,000 tickets.
Actually, it's more than that. 25,000 were our applicants when we stopped the application. And then we had to reach out to the organizers, all these partner organizations, almost like 600 organizations, and to allow them, the quota we allowed around almost like every organization getting 60%. And then they had to select from that. And then we also allocated some lotteries to get the additional guests and all that. So it was a very overwhelming response, and we actually within a week had to stop the registration.
Why is that? Let's just dig in a little bit deeper. So we talked about excitement for Prime Minister Modi. We talked about how he instills a sense of pride. But let's go deeper into that. What is it about this Prime Minister that every time he comes here, he's speaking at such large venues, including Madison Square Garden, which I also covered, and then you had Silicon Valley, the SAP Center as well. What is it that he's commanding?
So one of the most important, we can see that Prime Minister Modi has really developed India. It has put into the trajectory of the growth. Now, in last like 5 years, it became the fifth economy in the world, and now rapidly marching towards the third economy in the world. It used to be a time when India was actually looked very down, like the single growth rate was also looked at as very negatively. It has transformed that sentiment to a very strong, developed India in all sort of. So when Indian diaspora will look at from the far out, look at it that India is developing. India is developing the technology. India developing the space. India developing the defense. India developing the start and digital India.
And yeah, that is very true. But that is something that could have been watched from a distance. How does that tap into the sense of connection that the Indian American community is feeling with Indian groups?
Yeah, so Indian American community now felt the first time that for last 10 years, we see that they have the pride to be an Indian diaspora. The pride to be, they could also see that how US-India relation also transformed. As all the leaders, whether it is from President Obama or President Biden, President Trump, if you have seen all three of them consistently said that Indian US-India relations is the most consequential relationship. That happened transformation under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi ji.
I will say that when it comes to India-US as a divine
continue that conversation with us. We'll try and bring in our guests as well. A lot of excitement and anticipation there at the stadium. Natasha will continue to get us all the updates. But let me bring in our panel this evening. Well, Pramit Makode, President of the Global Citizens Forum, the US, also co-founder, Boston Center for Excellence for Human Development, is with us. Also, Jayant Krishna, Senior Fellow, Center for Strategic and International Studies, is also with us. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for being with us. Going across to you first, Pramit, the Prime Minister's diaspora diplomacy aside, what's really heartening to see is Indian culture front and center as far as the US is concerned. I mean, you have such a diverse representation of Indianness, which is really front and center as far as this event is concerned. How do you see that?
See, every time when the Honorable Prime Minister visits America, we have seen the excitement with the NRIs or the global Indians is increased significantly. I was very closely witness to the Madison Square event, which almost happened 10 or 11 years back. And since then, multiple events have happened of the Prime Minister, and I have seen more and more overwhelming participation of Indian professionals. And it's not Indians just who are euphoric about this cultural event. No, not like that. There are very senior scientists, research scientists, doctors, CPAs, surgeons, all walks of life. People are coming forward and they want to contribute to the story that Prime Minister has envisioned. That is the story of Global Indians for Viksit Bharat, or they say Pradhan Mantri ji like Viksit Bharat or Developed India by 2047. So NRIs are overwhelmingly now participating for that cause. And these type of events really galvanize the entire diaspora. And American diaspora is extremely special, not only for India, but even for America as well. Like we are 1 and 1.5% of the America's population, but we contribute significantly on the taxation. If you look at the 6% of America's tax is being paid by 1% of Indians. So Indians are being taken very seriously by Americans, by Indians, and our Honorable Prime Minister has really excited all of us to contribute to the development story of India.
Absolutely. I think that's such an important point you're making. And Jayant Krishna, weigh in on this because, the Indian American community, the Indian diaspora in the US has really grown. And how? I mean, you have doctors, scientists, IT professionals, and also now a growing political force in the Indian diaspora as well. I mean, we see Indian Americans occupying top positions, top official positions. You, of course, now have a person of Indian origin who is a presidential candidate as well. So, the Indian American community has really come a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just 4.5 million Indians in the American in the Indian diaspora in the US, but every walk of life. If you look at information technology professionals, if you look at the universities, if you look at the doctors, if you look at the space scientists or scientists in general, everywhere anywhere between 15 to 20%, 25% people, and in IT, there are even more. If you look at the India development centers of technology giants and them put together, so it's it's a very, very sizable thing. And if you look at, President Biden's support to India's claim to be a permanent member of the UN Security Council, I think that also emanates from the fact, one is that US has supported that in the past. It's not the first time. But also, US elections are going to happen. So, when elections are happening in either of the two countries, then the bilateral, talks don't become that important. But it's also a very huge signaling, which Joe Biden has done to the Indian diaspora there that, he's very, very supportive of India as a country, as well as its claim to be on the Security Council. So I think some very interesting things have happened in the last couple of days. If you look at, India has pledged, almost US $7.5 billion for cervical, cancer research. If you look at a lot of antiques which were stolen out of India, they have been given back to India. There have been talks on Bangladesh. There have been talks on, no final word is available, but a lot of people believe that there were talks on the jet engine deal also, which GE and HAL
those agreements and what happened in the bilateral talks certainly is very important. But keeping the focus on what's happening right now, because Jayant Krishna and Pramit, as you continue to be with us, what's also on display is this kind of people-to-people connect. Our diplomacy has grown in a way that it's not just about the hard issues of, say, security and defense and innovation, but also cultural exchange on people-to-people connect. I think that's so important, isn't it, Pramit?
Yeah. No, indeed, that people-to-people connect is extremely important, and it is increasing every year. I'm here for last 21 years in America and have seen the respect that has gone up in last 10 years of Indian Americans. That is quite significant, and it's very visible. And that's where there is more people-to-people connect has started increasing. And they have also realized, when you talk about culture, it is not about only the dance and the music. The biggest gift that India has given to America and to the whole world under our Prime Minister's leadership is of yoga, naturopathy, and the ancient health and the healing wisdom that India has. For example, that one of the biggest problems that America is facing right now in the veteran sectors, there are so many veterans who are committing suicide. Many studies have mentioned that many veterans on stress-related issues, they have started committing suicide, and the number is around 15 per day. Every day, around 15 veterans are committing suicide in spite of spending more than $100 billion on their welfare. But that's where the Indian ancient wisdom of yoga, naturopathy, our mindfulness techniques, our meditation techniques, which are highly cost effective. So Indian culture and Indian wisdom can bring affordable, accessible, quality healthcare to America.
Because you see, the India-US drug framework is also something that's been talked about, the cancer moonshot. These are, policy initiatives whose time had really come. But Jayant Krishna, before I wrap this discussion quickly on, why this sort of diaspora diplomacy has become such a sort of a hallmark of the Prime Minister's visits abroad. I mean, it began with the Madison Square event back in 2014, then of course Howdy Modi in 2019, and now the event at Long Island. What is a larger messaging, through this kind of diaspora diplomacy?
I think one thing you have to acknowledge that the Prime Minister Modi, has, he reaches out to the Indian community in whichever country he goes to. The kind of connect he has with diaspora, perhaps it is the best ever connect which any Prime Minister has had since the days of Nehru. So I think that's extremely important, and the fact that soft power has become such an important part of Indian diplomacy, all over the world, and more vis-a-vis the US. I think it's very, very important. All these cultural elements that you look at, the song and dance, the costumes, and the yoga, the ancient wisdom in healing, healthcare. I think these all collectively constitute a very, very strong soft power, in today's day and age, and that India is leveraging very well vis-a-vis most countries, and especially the US. And US Indians also, I know so many Indians from my family, my friends, who live there, the kind of outreach which they have in the, vis-a-vis Americans, amongst Americans, it's huge, and it's so positive, and such a pleasing rub-off effect it has that, there are a lot of festivals, like Diwali especially, Navratri, they're becoming sort of, if not global festivals, but at least, they have a very significant footprint in the US.
Absolutely.
So I think these are very, very encouraging things, and Prime Minister Modi leaves no opportunity, he doesn't miss any opportunity to leverage, to network with the diaspora.
Absolutely.
And which is doing, the meeting is yet to happen, but the kind of turnout I see.
That's also an equally important part of the Prime Minister's outreach and the Prime Minister's visits abroad. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for being with us. We leave it at that. But this continues to be our top focus on NDTV, a non-stop coverage of the Prime Minister's visit. And well, it's beyond just the Prime Minister. It's really about the Indian-American community and where India stands as far as, the global order, so to speak, is concerned. With that, we'll slip to a short break, but news continues on the other side.
Good morning and welcome. There's a lot of action over here in Long Island. Behind me is the stadium where Prime Minister Modi is all set to have his huge diaspora event, his community event. There are thousands of Indians, non-resident Indians from across the United States gathering over here. There's Bhangra that's playing out over there in the back. But Pooja, come with me over here as we see a group of young girls over here, some of their parents as well, getting set for all of this. Hi dear, what's your name?
Sia.
And Sia, are you looking forward to being inside?
Yeah.
So you're looking absolutely wonderful, all of you are. Are you going to be performing anything?
Yeah, we're performing.
What are you guys performing?
Bollywood.
Bollywood, inside or over here?
Inside.
Wow, that's amazing. Does anybody else want to say anything about what you're doing?
We're excited to see. Yes, I'm performing. I'm not a small child, but I'm excited to be here.
And where have you come from?
We've come from Washington, D.C.
Right. How about you? Where have you come from?
We came from Long Island itself. We are honored to be here. It's a privilege to be here welcoming Prime Minister Modi today.
Have you been to one of these events in the past as well?
Not one of these. Is once in a lifetime opportunity for Long Island to host Prime Minister, and we are excited.
All right, absolutely fantastic. Pooja, just look at the color over here. All of these young girls are going to be performing inside, and they're certainly looking forward to that experience. But Pooja, let's move over here and take a look at what promises to be what they say is a Khushi dance, where you've got more dancers coming across over there as well. And we're going to try and reach out to as many people as possible in the next couple of minutes to give you an idea of what's happening. There are all sorts of performers who are present over here. There are others who are going to be performing over there as well. It's all starting right now, but in the next little while, it's going to be really building up. So let's just move in this direction to give you an idea of the stadium itself, where it's all happening. And on the left over here, you can see hundreds of people now gathering. It's still a bit early. You'll see many more of them coming. Hi, sir. You're looking forward to this event, are you?
I'm not. I didn't get the tickets yet.
You didn't get the ticket?
Nope, so I'm waiting.
Where have you come from?
New Jersey.
And you haven't got a ticket? No. So are you hopeful of getting one?
Oh, we hope, yeah. Because after 10 o'clock, they said they will open for the few tickets for the general.
So your entire sort of journey here may be useless unless you get a ticket.
Because my daughter is performing today, and
I hope you get a ticket. So there you have it. There are so many looking to get in as well. So we'll keep covering all the color, keep giving you all of the reactions as we get set for this huge event over here. Thousands will be present in the stadium. You've got so many who are actually sort of going over there, and we're going to be tracking this story throughout the morning. With camera person Pooja Arya, Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
All right, so much excitement, anticipation, and well, the Indian-American community has really grown in the US, and not just doctors, IT professionals, engineers, but also, a vibrant political force as well. Take a look at some of the reactions that have come in, including, of course, from Chef Vikas Khanna. Take a look.
मेरी प्रतिक्रिया यही रहती है कि जब भी एक आपका देश का लीडर आता है, it is our job, it's our duty, उसको ऑनर करने के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है उसकी ऑनर रिस्पेक्ट करना because they not only represents the leadership of a party, they represent a country, they represent our family, our heritage, our ancestors. हमारे पूर्वजों को represent कर रहे हैं. आज हम शाम पे यहाँ पे खड़े होने के लिए सिर्फ नहीं आए because हम कुछ represent करते हैं हमारे यहाँ.
Work in the disadvantaged communities of the remote villages, where he gives all the necessary basic needs, education and financial help.
We are welcome to Narendra Modi, and we are very proud, and he's doing really great job.
Modi is a great leader, and he's going to take India to the next level.
We are extremely glad to be present here, and it's a matter of great privilege and honor to be here to witness the honor of Modi ji. We are big fans of Modi ji and his governance. We are a part of the Vikasit Bharat India scheme, and we congratulate Modi ji on his third term. We celebrate his birthday, and we welcome the new young dynamic BJP brigade.
Meanwhile, it's really taken a village to, execute this community event in Long Island. People have been working tirelessly for the past 6 months. Let's try and get a sense from some organizers, as to what really was, that task and what went into executing this event. My colleague Natasha sent us this report.
We are joined by a member of the Indo-American community of USA. They are the force behind Modi and US events here at Nassau Coliseum. Tell us about what we can expect. We're all waiting for the event to start.
I'll start with numbers. A magnificent event that's been put together in a matter of weeks. We had over 20,000 people that were registered. But due to capacity, things like that, unfortunately, we weren't able to accommodate in this venue.
So we're going to have about 16,000 people inside?
13,000 and change.
13,000 and change. I did see lines of people outside waiting to get in. So you're saying that the capacity of the stadium is going to be met fully at Nassau?
So the way it's, the protocols and things like that.
Now I'm thinking of 2014 when at the Madison Square Garden, we also had Prime Modi recently entered at the Madison Square Garden. First trip to the United States. It was an even bigger venue, it had 20,000 people there. So talk about the enthusiasm of the Indian American community for Prime Minister Modi. Has it increased? Has it plateaued? Has it increased? We have a smaller venue compared to last time.
So, I think I can say, culturally speaking, we have over 500 organizations represented. And these are diverse organizations, which speaks to, again, the basic breadth of India's, how many cultures over millennia coexisted. And here in the U.S., we have over 5 million, Indian Americans. 5 million Indians from Indian origin. And so the numbers are massive. The space constraints, this was put together in a matter of weeks. And so logistics, again, 60 plus buses across the country, primarily in the Northeast, going into Ohio and various other states. 40 plus states represented. So there's a quite significant number of, breadth of people that are coming in.
What are we expecting to see? I know that Prime Minister Modi will be speaking, of course, being the highlight of the event, but other than that, we feel that it may be a surprise yet. Do you know any indication who that is, what that is, and what else you see on stage behind that?
I think the mystery will come very quickly and very soon. Stay tuned. It's going to be a phenomenal event. I can't speak about the cultural component.
Yeah, give us an idea of who you're going to see who are not surprised.
Yeah, so 500 artists and performers. Again, showcasing the amazing talents and amazing philosophies of the Indian diaspora, of the Indian philosophies. So that's going to be amazing.
And while we keep the focus on the community event, the diaspora outreach, crucial business also taking place with key bilaterals on the side. But of course, the highlight was the Quad Summit. It's being called the Summit for the Future. And India's message was loud and clear. Quad is here to stay. And that it's not against anybody, but a peaceful Indo-Pacific is a priority. Take a look.
Mr. President, will the Quad survive beyond the election in November?
What survive?
The Quad. Will it survive regardless of the outcome?
US President Joe Biden handed over the Quad's baton to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In a rare gesture, President Biden hosted his Quad compatriots in his home in Wilmington, Delaware. The four democracies that are the connecting dots for the Indo-Pacific quickly got down to business.
We're democracies. We're democracies who know how to get things done.
After the on-camera opening remarks, President Biden was heard telling the other leaders in the room that he believes China's increasing military assertiveness is an effort to test the region at a turbulent moment for Beijing.
China continues to behave aggressively, testing us all across the region. And it's true in the South China Sea, the East China Sea, South Asia, and the Taiwan Straits. And it's true across the scope of our relationship, including on economic and technology issues. At the same time, we believe intense competition requires intense diplomacy.
Taking on the Quad chair from President Biden, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also batted for a free and open Indo-Pacific. He described Quad as quick, unified assistance delivery.
Free, open, inclusive और prosperous Indo-Pacific हमारी साझा प्राथमिकता और साझा प्रतिबद्धता है. हमने मिलकर health security, critical and emerging technologies, climate change, capacity building जैसे क्षेत्रों में कई सकारात्मक और समावेशी इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं. हमारा मैसेज साफ है. क्वाड is here to stay, to assist, to partner and to complement.
The Quad joint statement batted for reform of the UN Security Council to make it more inclusive. The statement termed the threat of using nuclear weapons in the Ukraine war as unacceptable. It red-flagged China's aggressive behavior in the South China Sea, expressing concern over China's intimidating maneuvers. The grouping also announced a new regional maritime initiative in the Indo-Pacific. Addressing the Quad Moonshot Cancer Initiative, President Biden's personal project, Prime Minister Narendra Modi described Quad as a force of global good.
When the Quad acts, it is not just for nations, it is for the people. This is the true essence of our human-centric approach.
India has committed to supply cervical cancer vaccines worth $7.5 million to the Indo-Pacific region. The Quad Summit 2024 led to commitments including India's promise of $2 million for solar projects, a focus on cancer care, and initiatives for public health and maritime security. India also announced a new initiative to award 50 Quad scholarships worth 4 crore to students from the Indo-Pacific to pursue a 4-year undergraduate engineering program at a Government of India-funded technical institution. The summit has moved from Prime Minister Kishida's home in Hiroshima last year to President Biden's home in Delaware in 2024. And it is President Biden who gave it the form of a summit-level meet with a focus on the Indo-Pacific. With Vishnu Som and camera person Pooja Arya, Bureau Report, NDTV.
So India's message loud and clear there, but of course these are live pictures coming in from Long Island. Of course, the cultural program has begun. The Prime Minister is expected to address the members of the Indian diaspora at around 9:50, 9:30 Indian time. And before that, it's a lot of cultural programs, dance and music that are really the trademark of the Prime Minister's diaspora event. So we'll keep bringing you all that color and anticipation there in New York. But of course, what was also crucial was the Prime Minister's bilateral with President Joe Biden, perhaps the last before President Biden's term comes to an end. 2 key agreements were inked, but also many important diplomatic messages. Take a look.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi was welcomed by US President Joe Biden at his residence in Greenville, Delaware on the first day of his US visit. Kicking off his trip with a bilateral, Prime Minister Modi said that the talks were extremely fruitful and that he had the opportunity to discuss regional and global issues during the meeting. Hailing India's ties with the United States as strong and dynamic, Biden said that whenever the leaders sit down, he's struck by their ability to find new areas of cooperation.
In the bilateral meeting with President Biden and also in the Quad summit, Prime Minister thanked President Biden profusely for hosting the summit. In fact, the Prime Minister today referred to the Quad in a very, very evocative way. He called it quick, unified assistance delivery. And the other members of the Quad, in fact, said that they finally understood what Quad really signified and stood for.
The leaders hailed a watershed arrangement to establish a new semiconductor fabrication plant in India. In a major boost to its global objectives, Biden said that the US supports initiatives for India's permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. Biden commended Prime Minister Modi for his historic visits to Poland and Ukraine. According to a Ministry of External Affairs statement, the two leaders discussed different ways to further enhance cooperation in areas of mutual interest. They also exchanged views on the Indo-Pacific region and beyond.
It is truly amazing what this landmark bilateral agreement, the joint statement with the United States is. So let me just quickly go through point by point what the bilateral statement actually refers to. It refers to a speedy transfer of jet engines to the Indian Air Force to India. That's been a delay in the US, which is why the delivery of Tejas fighters has been delayed. It makes reference to the Predator drone deal, which is on the verge of being finalized. That finds mention as well. The fabrication of semiconductors in India through a new fab, that's mentioned. The United States backing India's efforts at being a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, that's there as well. There are references to India and NASA, ISRO and NASA, and their cooperation in the space program. So these are absolutely clear deliverables. But
he was also joined by the Japanese counterparts to discuss areas from trade and security to infrastructure and semiconductors. With Vishal Vivek, Bureau Report, NDTV.